animales que van en cada lugar. Uno o dos animales que van en cada lugar.
Welcome to another episode of UEN's PDTV. When Middle Canyon Elementary School in Tooele School District went one-to-one with Chromebooks, the third grade Spanish dual language immersion teacher, Abish Jimenez, noticed that she and her students weren't quite doing all that they could with the technology. She wanted her students to do more than just consume with technology. She wanted them to use tech to become creators, communicators, collaborators, and critical thinkers.
Middle Canyon is one of the DLI schools and the language is Spanish. The program has been here since the program started in Tooele, and I've been teaching for 7 years in this same classroom, in the same school. My students are, most of them, Spanish is their second language, so they are learning Spanish. We have some students that are native of Spanish, but most of them are learning a second language, like Spanish as a second language or in the DLI.
Tell me about your journey. How did you dive in and get the skills that you needed to kind of boost the technology use in your classroom?
So when we first got Chromebooks, everyone was so excited, and of course it was like a learning curve for everyone, for students and for teachers. And of course the easy way to start is just use programs that were already created, right? And that help students with like develop their fluency in math or their fluency in reading, and that's what we use first. So then I joined a program in the district, the Step Up program, and it was more the use of technology to create, more to do with the technology than just consume the technology, create things. And I start seeing the technology with a different approach, like, oh, it's not just a tool to entertain the kids while they're in my classroom, but they can create something. In the model of blended learning or including technology, first I was just substituting what we would do in paper pencil and change it just to use it in the computer, right? Which was like the first step, but it seems like, oh, I can do the same in paper pencil, and in the computer it's available anytime, which is great for the ones that are sick or that they go on vacations or whatever. It was great, but I wanted to give them a little more. So I start learning new tools, and then I start like thinking, what can I do with this tool into my curriculum so they can start creating things. And that's how I started with things.
Nombre o tu nombre. Carter Barnes, mayúsculas. Alexis. Sí, todo.
Terry.
Sí, con mayúscula la primera.
Yo no tengo espacio.
It sounds like this Step Up program, which was a professional learning program through the district, it sounds like they focused in on some educational technology frameworks to help, because what I'm hearing from you is things like the SAMR model and things like that.
Exactly.
Were there some that really stood out to you that helped you in this process?
Well, they have a lot of, teach us a lot of the 4 C's, which I think they're great. Like the communication and everything that the 4 C's implies, I think it's really cool. And I think those are really skills that can be applied to any area right now, not just in the classroom or not just at work. Like those are skills that we can do or that we can use every day of our life.
It sounds like you also then, after your district or along with your district professional learning experiences, you had support here in your school as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So I have in the district, we have a tech ed people that come to different schools, and they come and help us and give us like support that we need, and they help us with how to apply certain technology to a classroom, and they help a lot. And then I joined also a program that the district have, but now I'm like the tech person, like the coaching, digital coach in my school. So I don't fix hardware or problems with the computer, that's the IT person. So I'm into programs. I'm teaching my colleagues, but I'm also learning in the STEP program how to teach them.
I love hearing about your journey from, this isn't going the way I want it to, reaching out, learning, and now coaching other teachers.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. Let's shift gears a little, and I want to hear then about some of the projects that you have been doing with your students. How did things change in your classroom as a result?
Okay, so first I start with trying to find a tool that will help me show parents that the students were producing language. Because most of the parents will say like, oh, he doesn't speak Spanish or she doesn't speak Spanish at home. So parents don't know if they speak Spanish or how much Spanish they know, and they really want to know, they like it. So normally we do that during parent-teacher conferences, but because we have 2 classes, it's a lot of parents to meet with, and then putting the kid in the spot in that moment, it's hard for them. They are 8 years old, so it's hard for them to shift gears between languages and in an environment that they don't feel like they need. It's just hard for them, and it doesn't really show what they can do. So first I wanted to show parents that their kids are producing Spanish, that they can do it. So I found Flipgrid in that time. When I started was Flipgrid, now it's just Flip. And I create a project, the same that we did in classroom, and it's part that what we do in normal day, and they have to write, and we keep mostly the same, but then the final product was to record a video, and they have to express or explain what they did, and just report what they did and what they learned. And I did that, and the kids really enjoy making videos and knowing what to do, and it was all new. They were so excited to do it. And then when I just print a QR code, attach it to the paper that they did in classroom, and then send it home, and I instruct them, of course, like, parents, please scan this QR code and you will see your kids speaking Spanish. And they did it, and the feedback was really good. Parents really liked to see what they were doing, the paper, like it was their handwriting, but also the speaking part of the program. So they really liked that. So after that was, I guess, my first approach to doing something new. I'm like, oh, they really like it, kids really like it. It wasn't really that hard to include technology into what we are already doing. So that's what motivates me to keep going. One of my goals was to let students know that technology is not just to play, but they can create something, and they can do more than just, oh yeah, I'm gonna play. And it's hard to switch. At the beginning of the year, I see like, take out your computers. Are we gonna play? No, we're not gonna play. We're gonna do something. And the first month it was, take out your computers. Are we gonna play? That was the first question. I'm like, not everything it's just playing. Like, we can work and we can create things. And now I see that it's easier for them to switch from using the computer and then going back to paper pencil and then using the computer, because now they notice that it's just a tool and not, I'm just gonna do this and stay here and anything else matters because I'm just in the computer. So I think it's been good.
Yeah. So tell us about the project that you were working on today, because this is another tool that I think you found that is helpful for a lot of these same reasons. But what was the project that they were working on?
So we have been learning about survival traits or animal traits and plant traits. And today it was like the final of what we learned before. We have been learning like all the structural adaptations that animals have to survive and why they have them. And we have been learning of behaviors that they have in order to survive. So this final project was like, okay, you have an animal, you describe all the adaptations or characteristics that they have to survive in where they live. So I was really happy. Of course, we did our writing, we put everything on paper, pencil, they draw their animal. Then we have some Lego figures that they created and they were so excited to make them. But then I'm like, okay, now explain it. And I try to find something fun for them to do. And recording videos, for some reason, is something that they like. And if you add a little Lego and they have what they need to do, and then I add just the text and with the sentence frames that they have to produce the language. So really, I think it's a project that involves everything that I want them to do, like produce language in complete sentences, to use the vocabulary that we learn about like adaptations and behavior, to think about what do they need to survive, the survival traits in different habitats, and then they also are creating something, which in this case was a video. And we create that video and then we add it to our portfolio that will summarize every project that we did during this term.
I love that it's all coming together, all these pieces, and then into a portfolio, which was made in Canva, correct?
Yeah.
And I said it already, but to see how much fun they were having with all of that, they may not, again, always realize like just how much it's reinforcing their learning because they're just fully engaged in the experience. But you have very carefully crafted all these different pieces to meet your curriculum goals, to meet your DLI goals. Wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
So let's focus on DLI a little bit more because I could see very clear strategic efforts to make sure that they were speaking, writing, and listening again and again. How has the use of technology supported your DLI goals in addition to your curriculum goals?
So one of the goals of DLI is that they can produce the language. And sometimes the kids are very nervous and they don't want to speak in front of everyone because they feel very intimidated, right? So one of the things that they ask us not to do in DLI programs is like, put the kid in the spot because they just block and they cannot produce the language. So one of the things is creating a safe environment. Last year I have a girl that she wouldn't talk, not allowed, she will just whisper everything. But I was very surprised when she had to record the flip and I'm like, well, she's not gonna do it because she just doesn't like to talk, right? And I wasn't sure if she was speaking Spanish because she never like participated or anything. But she recorded her video and then I watched the video and I was like, wow, she can speak very clearly. And I was like, oh yeah, this is working. She feels safe. I put the little offices so they are just by themselves with the computer and they have the script that we already work like orally and then they have it written down. So they feel more confident that now they can speak it. And that gives them the confidence that now they can speak and they can say, I'm like, oh yeah, I did it. So I think that it's a pretty cool way to achieve the goal of speaking. Of course, there's a lot of things that we can polish, but that will come with time.
Yeah. Well, I have loved watching you teach today and loved seeing these projects in action. Thank you so much for sharing what you're doing.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for being here.
Now that you have seen how Abish and her students have improved their technology use, consider how you can make your EdTech use more meaningful as well. Of course, we always start with goals and standards. Explore your core curriculum standards, or maybe Utah's Portrait of a Graduate, or if you have specific goals like the DLI goals, explore them and determine ways in which technology can help support achieving those goals. Reach out to the support system you have in your school. Discuss EdTech use in your PLCs. Reach out to coaches and principals and specialists. And of course, find out what professional learning opportunities are available in your district, in your school, in your LEA, and of course, at the state level from organizations like the Utah State Board of Education and the Utah Education Network. Then focus in on EdTech frameworks. For example, the TPAC model is helpful in making sure that your use of EdTech aligns with pedagogy and content knowledge. The PICRAT model is good for moving students from consuming into creating with technology. Then zoom in on the 4 C's in your classroom. Consider how technology tools can be used in new ways to help students create, to curate and analyze their own work, and to share with audiences like parents in new ways. In her classroom, Abish utilized tools like Nearpod and Canva and Flip, but there are lots of tools to choose from. So reach out to fellow educators, find out what tools they're using and how they're using it. Watch model lessons, attend EdTech conferences like EdCamp and USET, and join teacher discussions in eMedia or on social media like the Utah EdChat. For even more ideas, resources, and strategies, be sure to visit uen.org/PDTV to access the teacher toolkit that accompanies this episode. Thanks for watching UEN's PDTV. To access more professional development resources and to schedule a training with UEN, visit uen.org/development. We'll see you next time.